Two roads diverged in a wood, and I took the one that led to the hoopty, and that has made all the difference.
Hooptie Joyride with Brian and Steve, all right.
Now, collector, I know you've been waiting for another song,
I have.
but I'm feeling a bit ponderous and philosophical. So today I'm going to lead us off with a poem.
Okay.
And this is from the great Robert Frost. Two roads diverged in a yellow wood, and sorry I could not travel both, and be one traveler, long I stood, and looked down as far as I could to where it bent in the undergrowth. There's two middle verses to that. We'll just jump to the end. Two roads diverged in a wood, and I took the one that led to the hoopty, and that has made all the difference.
I'm glad you paid attention in high school.
One of us had to.
I was worried about you in high school when I remember our English teacher saying to learn about poetry or something or other, and she says about an iambic pentameter, and I remember you saying, "I know what it is. Sounds like a part of my uncle's truck."
Well, I'm not sure I've learned anything more about auto mechanics, but we'll find out in this episode.
All right. Well, I think you're going to kick it off this week with the first choice of the week. So
That is true. I almost led with something a little bit different in terms of intro, like a New York State of Mind or something along those lines, but I didn't. But I was going to because it's a 93 Chrysler New Yorker Salon. So that's interesting. 3,000 bucks. So not too high, about a little over midpoint of the budget. As a reminder, we set ourselves a fictional $5,000 budget to buy, get roadworthy, and then start enjoying the hoopties. Because it's kind of hard to find a decent ride in it for under 5,000 bucks these days. At least that's what it feels like. So at any rate, this says mechanically that it runs perfect. It's got a clean title. The interior is in really great shape. That you can have a Carfax available in Philadelphia. So city of brotherly love. Nobody would steer you wrong. Let's take a look. I especially like the Exxon photo studio that this person has apparently rented for the minute. Maybe it comes with a special feature that comes with a gallon of gasoline. So instead of a car wash, you get your car photos taken. Who knows? At any rate, it's got, kind of that 90s Chrysler boring, kind of look to it. The LeBaron had a very similar front end. I think the salon piece of this is the little window added to the rear roof pillar there. Got your fake wire wheel hubcaps, but it does look, actually pretty clean. I think this is a V6 transverse mounted front wheel drive, and it's got the wood grain dash, so you'd be styling and profiling, and it sure does look comfortable.
sure does.
That looks like, I don't even know you'd feel the Philadelphia roads if you're cruising around in this one. So anyway, that's what I'm kicking it off with. What do you think?
Well, I agree. That definitely looks comfy. I was going to point something out in the very first picture, but I think I'll let it pass at this point. That there was a sign of Dunkin' Donuts in the background, so I know how you found this car. You had your donut fix going on.
Fair enough. I actually took the photos. This person doesn't even know this car's for sale.
So, yeah. Well, it's I'm sure it could be a fun car. Some little bit of luxury for $3,000 to run around in. That front seat sure look comfy. Looks like your couch.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
yeah.
for sure.
All right, good pick.
Very cool.
All right, so I'm going to bring to you. I am an MG guy. Um, I've had one for 30 some years now. So I figured let's bring an MG back to the mix here. 1973 MG Midget. I have a B. I think the Midget's a little smaller than what I would want, but for $2,000 in London, Kentucky. The ad says it has an Ohio title. It's really located in a town called Bald Rock, Kentucky, which is apparently just outside London because he mentions it. He does not have a key for it, and he's never heard it run. Would be a great for parts or to restore. I got it with full intentions, but since then he bought an MGB. Can't fault him for that personally, but $2,000 or best offer. He says he thinks it has around 40,000 miles. Not exact. I can tell you they only have 5 digits on the odometer, so don't know how many trips around the sun it's had. But let's see the first shot of it. Whoa, do you think it's British? All right. So if you didn't know it was British by the flag, you can even look at the little GB for Great Britain sticker on the front fender, I guess. So anyway, I think it's pretty neat looking. Unique paint scheme. Obviously, it needs a top. I'm a little wondering truly about the back end there. It looks like, does that say turbo underneath of the gas cap?
Yeah, I think it does. Yeah.
So I'm a little wondering what's going on there, turbo. But anyway, look, it's not a perfect shape by any means. The mini lights themselves are worth a good chunk of the emissions of this party. I don't see a turbo on there, even though that's a pretty big air cleaner on there. So I'm not sure what that's for, because that's the carburetors are on the right-hand side there, those blue things. So I don't know if that air cleaner is a direct flow into the heater box in the back there. So I'm not really sure why he's got that on there, but hey, I picked this because it's so unique with the flag painted on it and being British and being an MG guy. Personally, the Midget's a little tight for me, but I can tell you the MGBs, they got plenty of space once you're in them. So what do you think of Dreamer?
Yeah, I mean, look, you and I both have had a bunch of MGs. You have, your main one for a long, long time. I've never had a Midget either because they don't speak to me. But this one with the paint scheme, if it'll run, it looks to be mostly complete, like you said, other than this air cleaner mess, whatever that is. They can be kind of fun and fun to just throw around. They're not going to be super fast, but you feel everything, and that's part of the excitement of it. So, maybe you got something. It does seem to have parts, and clearly with the light bar on the front and some of that stuff. Somebody cared for this at one point in time, so hopefully that carries through. Could be fun. I don't know. It's I think for the money though, I'd still look for a B for myself, just because it's a little bit longer wheelbase and a little more leg room in it. But hey, not bad. Not a bad pick at all. You could do your, poor man's Austin Powers. So
that's it. Well, I'll add a B to the mix to look for you for the next week.
All right. I appreciate it. Very nice. All right. We'll just keep rolling here. I've got something for you. We're going to relive our 80s dreams, from back in the day. It's an 87 Chevy Camaro Iroc, International Race of Champions. So an Iroc-Z. Budget buster, $750, and spoiler, no motor or trans. So that's why you're getting it relatively cheap. Coming from Novelty, Ohio. Says it's a complete car. It's got the original wheels, new lips, a decent to fair interior. All the plastics are there, but no engine or transmission. So, it does look to be, in okay shape. I kind of like this body style, again, coming from the 80s, it was, pretty sporty, had kind of that Knight Rider, thing potentially. That was the Pontiac variant, but, definitely different. You got the IROC wheels, you got the hatchback. Um, it does seem like the dash is in pretty good shape. I'm going to guess that that's over 100,000 miles, uh, at this stage. And yeah, the interior is not bad. So, I think you've got a good starting point. These came, the IROCs, I think, had the 305 in them. So, small block Chevy, you could get in there pretty easily, transmission bolted right up. And maybe be going on down the road if the electrics aren't too far mangled, from this. So anyway, that's what I thought. Different, a little bit different, but I think you could be into this for, probably 2,000, 3,000 bucks max, and have a pretty decent IROC.
Yeah, I think of that budget, you have a noisemaker. Um, it did look like it had T-tops on it. It looked like
It
glass
did.
tops on it. So
It
yeah, I don't
does.
think
Yeah.
we all had that back in the day. So it's kind of a rare feature, maybe. So
Yeah. Yep.
yeah, hey, I think that's a good pick.
Thanks.
Yeah. All right. So I'm going a little older than that. I'm going back to the 1970s. I'm going to bring us a 1978 Ford Pinto, $2,000, Rising Sun, Indiana. Hey, the ad says he's looking to sell it. It's a Pinto wagon. He got it as a roller that had a small block Ford, I guess, and a C4 tranny. It's pretty sweet little car, honestly. I hate to get rid of it, but I could use the money elsewhere. It's got an 8-inch rear end with slapper bars, nice auto meter tack with a shift light, already set up with the battery relocate and a fuel cell in the trunk. He's asking $2,000. So, you're going to get it a little cheaper, especially if you give it some maximum effort. I think you'll job with negotiating. Hey, with a hood like that, it's got to go fast. You better hang on to the roof rack. Another car like our last episode, I guess. Big wheels in the back, little ones up front, all go, no steer. I think we had a Pinto a few weeks back on episode, but how can you beat a wagon? I think it's a good looking ride. So I guess clean it up and see what happens for $2,000 or best offer. What do you think?
I'm with you. I'm not sure if the maximum effort is to get it back on the road or maximum effort went into it, but I think this is it's pretty cool. It's got that, like you said, that street freak kind of thing going, like the AMC in the last episode. So, shouldn't be too hard to get a 302 or something with a C4 tranny to put into it. So I think seems like pretty easy. You can get it going. It did have pictures of the fuel cell and everything already inside. So some interesting stuff there in the ad. So I like it. It's a good pick. It's cool.
All right. So. All right. Let's see what you got.
That's right. It's my turn. And I'm going to stay in the 70s as you. This is a pair of Porsche 914s that I've found. So 74, 75 model years. Says it's a clean title. The ad's actually a little bit confusing. It says it's a 75 motor installed in a 74 body, but he's got a clean title for both. Not sure if it means there's still two cars that comes with it or not. I'm taking it that way. It says the engine was swapped, needs to be on. It's a major project. Not really a whole lot of other details about it, and also not a ton of photos. So it's a shot of the sort of the front end of it and then kind of the back end of it. So, you've got one of these, a couple of these. We've seen them a couple times on the show as well. A mid-engine car, so the engine is actually there underneath of that raised flap. It's got a little bit of a trunk. Target top comes off. It's got a frunk area for storage and other things as well. So generally a pretty good handling car. Lots of fun to drive. You're really, really on the ground with something like this. The shifters usually leave a lot to be desired, unless you can go through, the upgrade on that. But otherwise, these can be fun, decent projects. If this one's running, I think, $2,500 is not too bad a price for a 914 these days. Obviously, you need to go through it. But, I said, you've got a couple of these. What do you think?
Yeah, I can tell you the biggest problem with these are rust.
Yeah.
Find one that's not all rusted out, especially on the far side of the motor over there where the battery tray was. Battery acid used to drop down and rot them out. If you find one that's out, they're a blast. Like you said, I have two of them. One of them in the background there, somewhere in the background up there. The other one we used to autocross, so they're a blast. Not going to be the fastest thing out there, but they handle very well.
Yeah. Yep.
So, 74, 73 is probably the most popular year. 74, I guess they started more of the pollution and control, and 75, 76, I guess at the end there, they had the big rubber bumpers. So, everybody has a little opinion on what model they like or which one of them, but hey, they're still fun. They were an orphan for many years, and now they've caught on. So, good pick.
Yeah, thanks. I know in our Volkswagen episode we included, so I'll spare the Volkswagen jokes.
Yep. All right, so since you have it on the screen, this one was a pick for you. 1968 Buick Skylark GS, $3,500, Camden, Michigan. Selling as is. It does run and drive. It's got a 383 stroker motor in it. Have all parts and accessories. Like I said, $3,500 or best offer. So, I picked it for you. You've always been a Buick man. You've had a few Buicks over the years. I think it was just the other day you were talking about a Buick again. You sent me something, I believe. So, anyway, I picked this one. You're going to see in the photos here in a moment that it's going to need some paint and body work. But hey, it runs and drives the 383 stroker in it. So get some tires for it and see if you can burn the paint off of this side too. Maybe the passenger side. It's a NOP3.
That's nope.
Nope. Nope. So you turning it down?
Turning it down.
Come on. I thought I finally had you convinced.
Close. You're close.
Probably you would take it if it was a 350. I don't think you could handle the power of a 383 stroker.
Nice.
I've seen you ride. You drive.
Wow. Okay. I see. We're doing jokes now.
So, yeah, it looks like it's got a Hearst shifter emblem there. So, and you can always take your extra gas with you.
Yeah, for sure.
And a cushion if you need to prop yourself up in there.
A little lumbar support for all that torque.
Yeah. But guess what? It sounds like you're not going to experience it because you're not a buyer.
And I'll tell you why. And I'm surprised you don't know this about me. Because yes, I do like the Buick. I did send you a Buick Skylark just the other day. The one model year, from 60, pre-65, I'm not really a fan. And then I'm kind of a fan all the way forward, except for 1968. It's got that weird body line crease. Usually it had trim on it that goes from the front fender, kind of, weird wave through the fender and into the door. And I don't know. It just, I hate to say it, it makes it look like grandma or grandpa's car, which probably, these were at one point in the day. But, from 69 forward, you didn't have that same, kind of body line for, these more aero versions, and you didn't even have anything like it on the more square, kind of mid 60s stuff. So you found the 1 year that I just don't like. Although it runs, drives, seems to be pretty good. Probably would be a nice ride for somebody at a good price point, but just found that one that I don't like.
All right, whatever. That was you figured it out. I threw it out there because I knew you wouldn't want it. That meant I don't have to store it. So
I
anyway,
see. Reverse psychology. Okay, I get it. All right, moving on then.
let's go on.
Let's keep going. We're going to go to my 89 Aeromate Utilimaster, $2,000, New Palestine, Indiana. It is a 4-cylinder Dodge Caravan gas engine. The seller says that this is watertight. Has a watertight. It's got a compartment with sink and water tanks. Needs a new battery. There's some sort of problem with the shifter that probably is transmission, I'm guessing, but maybe it is just the shifter itself. And selling because wife wants it out of the driveway, which is a pretty common reason these days. So apparently it was used as kind of a coffee or food truck. You can get your frosty treats, it looks like. But it's different. It's, it's definitely a unique ride. I'm not sure I would be selling ice cream out of it anytime soon, but, has, again, kind of an interesting look to it. It's got a sliding front door there, some sort of interesting valve exhaust. What, maybe that's the water outlet. I don't know. But here's a shot of the interior. So a little makeshift kitchenette type thing going on for the ice cream. So, not looking to take this and turn it into an ice cream truck and cruise the neighborhood, but I think for this kind of money, you get a decent little, hauler, probably okay on gas, and maybe you can turn it into an easy, weekend camper or something, and go from there. So anyway, what do you think? To me, it was just interesting.
Definitely interesting. I do like the fact they, with the non-cleanliness of it, they do practice safety with having soap dispensers to wash their hands before they scoop your ice cream or give you coffee. So not quite sure what the deal is with the shower curtain there to separate the front and the back. But yeah, I if you would have thrown an Aeromate out there, I would have had no idea what that truly was. So
Yeah, me either.
we're all about bringing the unique rides to the world.
That's right, for sure.
All right. I guess I am next. So I am going to bring you a 2002 Dodge Neon, $3,000, Auburndale, Florida. How do I start? Well, I guess I wanted to bring a Mopar to this week also, since last week I guess I had the Crossfire. So anyway, I got a 2002 Dodge Neon Project. It has a 2-liter single cam. The car was an automatic. It's been swapped to a manual transmission. Smart guy. Car runs and drives. It has cold AC, electronic locks and windows. It is lifted on coilovers and larger tires. Completely new suspension. Has racing harness seat belts. Dual batteries. Carpet and rear seats have been gutted. A ridiculous amount of new parts. I have a build list of everything I've done to it. We'll need new batteries though. Says he was modifying it to do a Hooptie X racing, which is actually apparently an event out there, off-roading for bring what you got and off-road these things and race around. So anyway, the article goes on, says he had a kid, ran out of time, had been planning a 2.4 liter with turbocharging, He's got most of the parts to do the swap. It was just never finished. Comes with a spare transmission, comp cams, camshaft, a new CX racing turbo, so on and so forth. The listing, we have it in our article or our page here, so you can read it with all the new parts that he's including. So $3,000. What do we got? Boom. All right. So, hey, almost like in Viper fashion, he's got the pipes coming out in the middle there, like the old some of the Vipers that didn't have the side pipes.
Yeah.
True Mopar fashion. You need a winch, and a great way to run the LED lights across there. Just, I guess, staple the electrical cord to it, to the hood. You don't have to worry about beating this thing up because it's already been done. I'm not sure what the hole is in the fender. The rest that's a scoop. It's hard to tell there what he's doing in that front fender. But hey, I had to pick it. There you go. Start your off-roading. You have to pick it when it's been being built to build for a Hooptie X racing events. So can't get much more Hooptie than that.
Fantastic.
And you got another motor with possible turbocharging if you're into going wild. Dreamer, floor is yours.
Had I not known that this car was in Florida, and had I seen it, I'd say this car's from Florida. This is, maybe this is your, in addition to the Hooptie X Racing, you're going to take this on the Python hunt every year. I don't know, but it's different. It reminds me of, I think Puddin's Fab Shop has a Toyota Corolla that put a big push bar on the front and calls it the Towrola with a winch on it as well. So kind of give me those kind of vibes, but it's different. I'll give you that.
All right. Yep.
Not quite your Florida swamp buggy, but it's close. It's on its way.
It's flat. It's not like the trucks down there. The back end's dropped and they're spotting the moon every night with the headlights. Squatting.
That's true. It is a bit more refined.
Yep.
That's great. All right. Let's keep rolling. Not through the swamp this time. So my next pick, I'm going way back, 1950 Studebaker. The seller had it in quotes, Land Cruiser, not an official model of the 1950 year, but we pulled it through. $1,900 from Cerrado, West Virginia. We got four-door. It's a four-door, suicide rear doors. It says not running, the engine turned really. It's missing the rear fenders. Has front and rear bumpers that are not on the car. Basically missing a few chrome pieces, but it has all the parts. Has a title, so that's good. And they may be willing to trade for 55 to 57 Chevy cars or parts, 55 to 59 Chevy trucks, or 55 to 66 Chevy short step beds. A couple different trade options. I'm not sure you're, unless you're doing a swap, what you've really got. But here it is. It's clearly a Studebaker, so it's got that going for it. Four-door, out of the front here. Looks like it's either got some rot or the front headlight bezels are coming off. Looks like rot to me. And then here you go. I think this would be a Commander, if I'm not mistaken, instead of a Champion, but maybe I've got those two mixed up. But at any rate, it's what you got. That's I don't think we have. It is a Studley vehicle, so you got that going for it. But anyway, what are your thoughts? I know you had picked one of these not too long ago in like a purple color, if I recall.
I think we did. Yes. I've always liked the front end of the Studebaker like that. This thing needs some work though. uh, think I'm not a buyer based upon the progress I'm making on some other projects. This thing would never get done in my barn. But hey, maybe somebody out there. I'm not even sure what that part is on the floor there.
Looks like a control arms or something.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Anyway, look, hey, one man's junk's another person's dream, right? Or prize, so treasure. So
Yep.
hey, there's somebody out there. So yeah.
Yeah, could be a good starting point for somebody. I mean, interior is at least there. You could recover stuff, and
Yep.
sounds like it comes with a bunch of parts. Who knows what kind of rush repair, whatever you got to deal with. Uh, but yeah, like you said, good starting point. I think that brings us to your last pick of the week.
It sure does. So I'm going to end the week with going back to the 70s, 1972 Plymouth Scamp. It says $2,500 coming to us from Tampa, Florida. So it says it needs a carburetor to start. It needs some body work. Has brand new vinyl wrapped seats. Does require a trailer for transport. Does send you or give you a drum to disc brake kit is included in the price. So a little upgrade material for you. So, you know, I don't think getting a carburetor for it would be the end of the world. You still got half your budget here, $2,500. You still got a good chunk of change. You know, when I saw the pictures, you know, I'm sure it needs body work like most cars. They're not showing anything underneath of it. But initial glance, the car was kind of sharp. So let's see what we have. So, you know, obviously the paint, you know, could be cleaned up there. It's got maybe a little rust on the front of the hood there. But, you know, it's a Plymouth. Yeah, I saw this side view. I said, I don't see major rot in there. You know, hey, put a carburetor on it, make some noise, make some smoke, enjoy it.
Yeah.
You know, I think it's pretty neat with the racing stripe on the side there, the old rims on it. It's got the wiper blades that we always worry about. So, you know, it says he needs a carburetor, but I think there's a carb on there in this picture. So I'm kind of confused on it. Like everything, we always say, do your due diligence and make a good decision. But, you know, that kind of looks complete to me there.
Sure does.
You don't have to worry because it'll ever start. So,
The old never start battery. Nice.
Yeah.
Looks like it was originally a white car, resprayed. So pretty interesting. I like it. I mean, it's kind of the Dodge Dart, right? Same. What is that? A body? Is that a Mopar A body platform? Somebody can put it in the comments and correct us. But yeah, pretty interesting. I mean, we knew some people that had rides like this growing up, and you know, kind of a nice, cheap muscle car. Looks like it's already got the V8, so you're partway there with a fun ride. It's a good pick.
Okay.
Good pick.
Yeah. All right.
And then I think you threw in a little extra surprise this week.
I did. So, look, hold your hats. I found a vehicle here that is very, very unique. Grant, it is a budget buster at $8,820, but it's a 2000 Eagle Holden coming to you from Ocala, Florida. Now, I'm gonna kind of maybe we'll stretch the rules a little bit on our $5,000 budget for this one. Find yourself a partner. You each put your $5 in. You're still under budget.
All right.
You got a father and son. I don't know, but this was too unique not to put in here. I didn't know much about an Eagle Holden. happened to be talking to somebody about this ahead of time, and they indicated to me that it is actually normally an Australian vehicle, which I can see that after seeing this old thing, because it does look like it's a right-hand drive, etc. But how can you go wrong with having a Rolls-Royce motor? Now, you look at that, that just looks like an everyday four-door car, you know, an old Toyota Camry, you know, an Acura Legend from back in the day, from the 80s and 90s. You know, it nothing special, right? Till you see that. So what do we have here? It has a 3,000 horsepower jet engine made by Rolls-Royce. And they say it runs. So how can you beat that thing underneath?
Holy cow.
Roast some marshmallows, roast the person's bumper behind you. Yeah, it was too unique not to include this week, in my opinion. So
I agree. I got a question though. Does somebody think that little angle iron is enough to hold 3,000 horsepower? Holy cow. Also, I should have put the nope tags on this one because I'm not sitting next to that.
me neither.
Wow. And you got a jet fuel tank right there with you. So, you know, if something goes, I guess at that point, you know, you're going with it. There's no choice. Interesting. Holden being I think the GM brand in Australia. So
I think so.
Maybe it's like a Chevy Lumina, but you know, unibody. But whoa, this is cool. It's different. I'll give you that. Definitely different. What's
I'm not
interesting?
A buyer. You'll have to look for another investor partner for your complete this dream of yours. But I just figured I'd throw it out there. So
I'm just going to say it's too long for my garage would be my excuse. But no, you know what's interesting? There's no front air intake that we saw. So I'm wondering, you know, normally a jet engine's got a big honking intake on the front. So I'm wondering if it's trying to suck all that air through the existing grill structure. But I'd love to see it in person. So, but I'm not a buyer. But it's definitely different. You could probably take this to car show, you know, big car show events and stuff, and you know, maybe even run it down a drag strip and have some fun with it. Yeah. Different.
Jump on it and do it while there's still drag strips in America. They're drying up at a rapid pace, unfortunately.
Yeah, that's true. Too much of the not in my backyard movement happening. So, well, you know what? Put a comment in down below. Let us know what you think about the missing, you know, diminishing drag strips or anything else for that nature, and give that bell a tickle so you know when we're coming back. So,
All right.
Any parting thoughts from you, Collector?
Nah, it's been another great episode. So, you know, hey, we love to keep bringing them to you. So, love to hear from you. And till next week.
That's right.
Make it a great week.
Absolutely. Find some junk, turn a wrench, have some fun. And Collector, you got a little work to do. You got to find me a better Buick.
Well, I thought we had a car that was going to be a non-Buick this week. Unfortunately, it was sold out before we got it. So it would have been a Jag.
Could be. That's true. Well, let's see what we get next week.
I'll keep presenting it.
Keep the temptation coming. No worries.
Well, you got 2 hours and 20 minutes for the next temptation I sent you the other day.
That's true. I have not looked at the price, and I promise you I will not.
It's still under where you told me you were going to be a buyer.
Oh, geez. I have to go look.
It's on the screen right now.
Very nice.
So anyway,
everybody. Peace.
Have a good week.